Welcome to the lesson, The Periodic Table. In this lesson, you will see that an element's position on the periodic table tells you quite a bit about that element's properties. The vocabulary words for this lesson are periodic table, group, period, average atomic mass, chemical symbol, metal, nonmetal, and metalloid. How many different elements are there? Great job! Did you know we're still continuing to discover new elements? It's true. Currently, there are over 100 known elements. Only 92 of those known elements occur naturally in any significant amount. Scientists have synthesized others in laboratories by adding protons to other elements. Just as you might organize your socks according to color, elements in the periodic table are arranged according to their physical and chemical properties. The periodic table contains much information about each element. Click the parts of the periodic table to learn more. Atomic number. Remember that the atomic number is equal to the number of protons in the nucleus. Look under the large chemical symbol and you will find the name of the element. The rows on the periodic table are called periods. Like the elements in a group, each period can be referenced by a number. Unlike the elements in a group, the elements in a period do not have similar properties to one another. They have properties that vary, often in regular ways, as you move from the left to the right. Each vertical column in the periodic table is known as a group of elements. Groups are identified by a large group number written at the top of the table. Atoms of elements in a group have the same number of electrons in the outer energy level. They are known as valence electrons. How an element reacts depends on the number of valence electrons its atoms have. So elements within a same group have similar chemical properties. For example, elements in group 18, the noble gases, are unreactive. Their atoms have a full set of valence electrons. The chemical symbol for an element represents the element in the periodic table. The chemical symbol can be represented by one capital letter or a capital letter followed by one or two lowercase letters. Some chemical symbols refer to the element's Latin name. The average atomic mass is the weighted average of the masses of all naturally occurring isotopes of an element. The atomic mass is equal to the number of protons plus neutrons. The elements in the periodic table can be divided into three main types: metals, nonmetals, and metalloids. If you know the type of element, you can predict some of its chemical and physical properties. Click each image to learn more about each type of element. You can predict some chemical and physical properties of an element just by seeing where it is on the periodic table. The metals, like iron, are shiny and are good conductors of electric current. Metals are malleable, or easily shaped, and all but one, mercury, are solids at room temperature. The nonmetals, like carbon, shown here as graphite, are not shiny, are poor electrical conductors, and are brittle. Many nonmetals are gases at room temperature. The metalloids, like arsenic, fall somewhere between metals and nonmetals and have characteristics of either category. Metalloids have extensive uses in electronics. They are called semiconductors, meaning that they do not conduct electricity as well as metals do. Silicon is an example of a semiconductor. You know that elements in each vertical column belong to a group because their atoms have the same number of electrons in their outermost energy level. The outermost energy level electrons are called valence electrons. They determine how or if an element reacts. Let's look at some examples. Click on the group numbers to learn more about valence electrons. Atoms of elements in group 1 have one valence electron. Do you think these elements might be reactive? You bet! They're extremely reactive. With just one valence electron, they're looking for another substance to react with so that they could become more stable. In fact, it's unlikely that you'd find these elements free or unbonded in nature. Atoms of elements in group 18 have 8 electrons in their outermost energy level, with one exception. Helium only has 2 valence electrons. These atoms have a full outermost energy level, so these elements are extremely stable and mostly non-reactive or inert. Group 18 are called noble gases because they very rarely react with other elements. Each element has a square on the periodic table. Within that square is information about the element, including its name, chemical symbol, atomic number, and average atomic mass. Match each label to its correct place. Well done. The atomic number gives you the element's order on the periodic table. It is the number of protons found in the nucleus. You find it at the very top of the square. The chemical symbol is an abbreviation of the element's name. The name of the element appears below that, and you'll find the average atomic mass at the very bottom of the square. It is a weighted average of all of the masses of the isotopes of that element. Determine whether these elements are metals, metalloids, or nonmetals. Drag the elements into the correct box. Well done! Metals are shiny and are good conductors and are found on the left-hand side of the zigzag line on the periodic table. Nonmetals are generally poor conductors and are found on the right-hand side of the periodic table. Metalloids have properties that are in between the other types of elements and are found between them on the periodic table. Which element is a semiconductor? You got it. So what does an element's group number tell you about an element's chemical and physical properties? Because the group determines the amount of valence electrons, those elements in the same group will react similarly. They will have similar physical and chemical properties. You've learned a lot about the periodic table. Let's take a moment to review the main points of this lesson. In the periodic table, elements are arranged according to properties. Columns, vertical, on the periodic table are called groups, and rows, horizontal, are called periods. Three main types of elements are metals, metalloids, and nonmetals. Elements in the same group have similar properties. Elements in the same period have varying properties. Now that you've finished the lesson, click the menu button to exit.